Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, here's the deal, Aquarius. Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your September soul session. My friend, I am Princess India. If you were new, sorry, it's moving my phone out of my view. I'm Princess India if you're new. And if you're family, welcome back, my friend. So we're going to go ahead and start with an overall energy card for you all from, I wanted to say the Starseed Oracle, but it's not. It's the Chakra Oracle deck. Or, you know, they could all just fall out like so. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, a card that fell face up in the midst of all of those. I'm trying this out. I won't know until I edit if this works for you to see it, holding it close to my face because my lens is, you know, a jerk. Anywho, you guys have the growth card as your overall energy for the month of September. So Aquarius, what it's looking like for me in reference to this card, my friend, is about living with purpose, living with passion, and living with intention. Now, the question would be, how does one do that? You know, if you want to take the easy way out and just stop this video now and go get my Purpose RX course, it's over there on my website. You can totally do that. Or I could just tell you now, or we could do both, you know, whatever works for you, my friend. But what we're really talking about is you living from a place of core values. It's you being very clear about what it is that your life is about what you're about, what your highest idea of life is. So your clearest vision for your life. More or less your meaning about life, and living in accordance with that every day, and making sure that you never sacrifice those things, right, for the benefit of someone outside of yourself, or go in opposition to yourself for any reason, regardless of the situation or circumstance. Now, when we're talking about values in life, those of you who did take my Purpose RX course, you know that we have our core values, which are things that you would never want to compromise. And then you have a second level of values where they're things that you can kind of compromise. But those core values are things that you absolutely cannot live without, because it's a form of self-betrayal, if you will. So I feel this month for you guys, it's going to be a step in the right direction. It's more or less either some of you guys getting clarity on what those foundational life principles are, or it's going to be about you guys making the decision to live in accordance with them. So your central energy is the door to spirit in the reverse. We'll see if that works. And this is challenged by the goddess of the moon. How appropriate with the full moon and Pisces and all that, you know what I'm saying? Then we have adjacent possibilities in the reverse. And you guys, past influence, your underlying energy, look at that, is the door to romance. Wait, I probably should close that eye. The door to romance, you know what I'm saying? And your above energy, we have walking away. Wait, I have to think when I close one eye. Insert Craig David, I'm walking away. That might be, you know, before some of y'all's time. Then we have the healer of the ages, Aquarius, going forward into October. So, Aqua, what is it looking like? When we talk about, this is pretty much your problem and your solution in the center of your spread. When we talk about the door to spirit being in the reverse, it's more or less meaning that you're not listening to your intuition and you are not following your highest truth about yourself or about your life. Now, I am recording this video on the full moon in Pisces. This challenging card is all about full moon, all about intuition. I would say it's a very Piscean energy. So I would say on this particular day or 3 days after this, because you know it's the whole time frame, 3 days before, 3 days after a full moon. And I feel for you all, with this being so pivotal, there's a piece of hair on my mouth. I'm sorry. My apologies. Anyway, but your full moon is always going to correlate with the new moon in the same sign. So this day is going to date back, the Pisces full moon dates back to the Pisces new moon, which was on the 23rd of February. So those of you who are intention setters for new moons, then that means this would be clarity or a manifestation or the revealing of a block, if you will, in reference to what is preventing you all from getting to where it is that you are attempting to go. And I feel it's more or less limitation oriented. I feel, and this can go two different ways. Let me close my eyes so I can look at my third eye, you know what I'm saying? So it's more or less for my Aquarius people, it's two groups of you in particular. Now, there's one group of you where there's one particular pathway, one particular person, or one particular thing that you've had your mind set on, and you haven't really been open to any other options outside of that. And so much so that it comes to a point where one starts to betray themselves or vacate themselves, which lets me know how I talked about with your overall energy about core values, that for a person, a job, a friend, family member, or just a situation, you have sacrificed something very important to you for the sake of this person or this thing, right? Now, when we end up giving up something that's important to us or neglecting something that we need or something that we say is missing in our life, if we will, if we end up neglecting that for, you know, someone else's benefit or for success or whatever the case may be specifically in your situation, it creates a sense of unrest, and this can manifest as anxiety, insomnia, trouble sleeping, bad dreams, a myriad of different ways it can manifest. Now, in order for us to silence this unrest within ourselves, we have to use something to block that out if we're not processing it, right? Because usually a person will tend to not process it because it's an attachment to this thing and not really wanting to face or not even noticing the correlation. Because I can't even say that any of us ever consciously know, you know what I mean? When you're avoiding something, I mean, of course, like as you grow in self-awareness, yeah, you can, but there's always going to be blind spots in all of us in different areas of our life, because, you know, that's the whole point of the growth process, you know what I mean? So none of us are ever at a level of perfection to where, you know, there's not little things you still need to work on, you know what I mean? So it's more or less, I'm seeing this as you guys being so committed to something or so attached to something that you've been numbing out to avoid or ignore this feeling of anxiety or unrest, if you will. But the challenge for you all in the month of September is going to be reconnecting with yourself, because I feel any type of blockages that you guys are experiencing is because of this disconnect from one's intuition or inner sanctum, if you will. Now, there's another group of you where it's feeling that there aren't any options whatsoever, like feeling kind of stuck or trapped or limited in finances or options to get out of your situation, you know? And I feel for that group of people that there's more or less an issue with, again, not listening to your intuition. But I feel that would be because one has shifted into survival mode. And when we go into survival mode, when we're literally trying to survive, it's like you go back to your primal instincts, if you will. So things like theoretical thinking, abstract thinking, creative problem solving, intuition, things of that nature start to get kind of stifled out because it's thinking of, I need to, you know, find a solution to this problem, if you will, right? So with this door to romance and you guys' underlying energy, for a great deal of you, and this would be two different messages too, because y'all are in two different places here, my Aquarius people. For some of you where it involves a person, I feel that it's a sense of scarcity that's related to love relationships, right? It's kind of like I've been with this person for a really long time, and the thing that I would be stressing here, the people who would resonate with this would be people where the person that you're with is less than stellar. Not saying that you're with a super dope, awesome person, right? But saying like you're with someone that, I'm not going to say causes you, but you're choosing to be with someone where you're also choosing to stifle what you really need, what you really want, and you're kind of putting up with something. And I feel this sense of things drying up in your life, if you will. And again, this is old energy. Because in the present, you're being offered an opportunity to, of course, walk away from this. But it's like on some level or another, you have had a hunch, you've had a feeling. Maybe some people have told you that this connection or this partnership isn't in your best interest. And if you were to really backtrack and like kind of look at a timeline, you would notice ever since you kind of connected paths with this particular person, things started to kind of dry up for you. You know what I mean? But it then becomes a question of, one, this doesn't feel right, or I don't trust this person, or I'm, you know, suspicious of, you know, things have kind of gone awry since I met them or whatever. But then on the other side, it's like you care about the person and you love the person and you don't want to lose the person because you're emotionally connected to the person. So in order to kind of function, you have to kind of shut down a part of yourself and you just kind of, you know, bear with it and grit your teeth a little bit in order to maintain this partnership. You know what I mean? And even if it's not a person, this would be something that's completely out of alignment with your truth yet again. Like this is something completely out of alignment with your value system, like a job that you're working at or something like that. It goes completely against everything that you stand for. But the whole point that I'm driving home here is it's a vacancy of oneself, right? It's almost as if one has walked away from themselves in order to function. You've had to numb yourself out in order to function in this situation or with this particular person. Now this month, you're being offered the mirror reflection of what has transpired already, which is that you're being offered another opportunity where instead of walking away from yourself, right, which is something I feel happened prior to this, and now you're being offered an opportunity to walk away from this thing and walk back to yourself, proverbially speaking, right? And I feel that this is clarity that you guys are going to receive in the first week of September. It's almost realizing how it is one has gotten off track and how you feel stagnant or imprisoned by this situation, like very limited. It's a very... like a very stagnant energy that I feel with this, right? Now, the opportunity for walking away with your door prize would be, proverbially speaking, comes with the healer of the ages, and it's more or less you guys coming back into alignment with yourself and back into alignment with your power and regaining control of your life. Now, what I feel with this, like for this card to come up here like this would put someone in a pretty bad state internally. Not saying anything in your external life is off kilter, but this card is a pretty powerful card in this deck. So, you know, for this to be the healing salve, if you will, with you guys, like advice, you know what I mean? Just in contrast for that energy signature to come up as a solution to all of this, it says that you guys are pretty kind of off track from where you ideally would want to be. It feels a great deal of having lost oneself. You know what I mean? But I don't feel that this is something that just happened. I feel like this is kind of something that's matriculated over time, if you will. But nonetheless, you're being offered an opportunity to walk away from this. What's at the bottom of y'all's deck? Woman holding the heart. Fascinating. Cornucopia. Yin and yang in reverse and broken heart in the reverse. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, here's the deal, Aquarius. If I were to sum up all of this, I'm just looking at the bottom of your deck, just getting insight of where all of this has come from. If I were to sum it up pretty quick, I would say that you guys stagnated somewhere in the past because of a relationship, like literally. Like it would be almost like your growth being stunted because of a relationship. you know? And it 9 times out of 10 is going to be some level of disappointment or betrayal that happened, right? Or maybe, you know, an abusive situation, what have you. And I feel like it stunted your growth somehow. You know what I mean? And even if you physically walked away from this person, there's a need to, and usually, you know, when you vacate yourself, it's usually because of something that was rather traumatic or abusive, you know what I mean? Or just a really great betrayal, you know? For some of you, it could literally be a divorce, you know? But it's almost like you're retrieving a part of yourself that you've forgotten, because I feel this disappointment was literally so grave that it's like you guys shut down emotionally. You know what I mean? And almost like isolated yourself in so many words. But you're being given an opportunity this month to heal that and to come back into union with yourself, if you will. And to be quite honest, like I say, for a lot of you, y'all are all in different places in your life. You know what I mean? So this energy signature could manifest a myriad of different ways for a lot of people. However, the thing that's pronouncing itself to me above everything else is literally this having something to do with a disappointment in a romantic relationship from the past. And that can be distant past, that can be recent past, but this is something that has happened already that has caused you to become almost cynical and pessimistic. It's almost like this infected you to where it bled into different facets of your life. And this is just an opportunity this month to get reacquainted with spirit, to get reacquainted with yourself, to forgive yourself, to forgive this person, depending on your situation, to reconnect to your heart space and to move forward and finally heal. Because I feel this has been a huge, huge block for you guys up until this point. So this is more or less an opportunity to finally release it, if you will. So Aquarius, this got really, really heavy, but we're going to go over to Vimeo, my website, Patreon, and YouTube members to do you guys extended. I'm gonna dive a little deeper and see what else we can find out about this, my friends. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Now I'm gonna start this dance party, something like that. You know what I mean? I might do a little Cabbage Patch. I'm not gonna say might because I'm technically doing it right now. But I had this idea to start putting like secret gifts in this part of the video. And only if you watch it till the end. I don't know what this is. Is that jazz hands? It's jazz fingers, something like that. Oh, is that my timer? Look at me doing good. It's messing up my dance moves, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, putting secret gifts here. Don't tell anyone they're here because you can only, you know, see it if you watch it, you know? Love your face.